You dip your sushi into soy sauce. Add a dab of that green paste. Your sinuses explode. Eyes water. You call it wasabi. But there's a 99% chance you've never tasted the real thing. That fiery green blob. Horseradish dyed with food coloring. The actual plant costs more per kilo than most luxury foods on Earth. Why is real wasabi so rare, and what does it actually taste like? Real wasabi has been part of Japanese culture since the 8th century. Archaeologists found wooden tablets from the Nara period listing wasabi as medicine. Monks cultivated it in mountain temple gardens. By the Edo period, it became essential for sushi, not just for flavor, but for antibacterial protection against raw fish. The problem is simple. Wasabi refuses to cooperate. The plant needs constant flowing water between 8 and 20 degrees Celsius. It requires shade but not darkness, humidity but not stagnation. Even in ideal conditions, a single rhizome takes 18 to 24 months to mature. One wrong temperature spike, and the entire crop turns black. Traditional wasabi farms cling to Japanese mountain streambeds because nowhere else works. Here's what happens when you grate real wasabi. The pressure ruptures cell walls. This releases an enzyme called myrosinase. The enzyme attacks compounds called glucosinolates stored in the plant tissue. The reaction produces allyl isothiocyanate. That's the molecule responsible for wasabi's heat. But unlike capsaicin in chili peppers, this compound is volatile. It evaporates at room temperature. The moment you finish grating, a countdown begins. Peak spiciness hits around 5 minutes. By 15 minutes, most of the heat has vanished into air. This is why traditional sushi chefs grate wasabi tableside using shark skin paddles. Speed matters more than technique. Every second between grating and eating is flavor lost forever. Wasabi attacks differently than other spicy foods. Capsaicin from chilies binds to receptors on your tongue. The burn lingers for minutes. Allyl isothiocyanate takes a different route. It vaporizes and travels directly into your nasal cavity. Scientists call the receptor it triggers TRPA1. Some researchers nicknamed it the wasabi receptor. These same sensors detect smoke and tear gas. That's why wasabi feels like a sharp punch to your sinuses rather than a slow burn on your tongue. The sensation peaks in seconds, then fades completely. Real wasabi also delivers something capsicum doesn't. A brief sweetness appears first. Then comes herbaceous freshness. Finally, the heat. The whole experience lasts maybe 10 seconds before disappearing. So, if real wasabi costs $250 per kilo and disappears in 15 minutes, why does the fake version fool 99% of the planet? Because chemistry doesn't care about price tags. Horseradish belongs to the same plant family as wasabi. Both produce allyl isothiocyanate. Both trigger the exact same receptors in your nose. Your brain recognizes similar molecules and accepts the substitute. The profiles differ slightly. Horseradish creates harsher, more persistent heat. Real wasabi produces a cleaner spike that vanishes quickly. But here's the real advantage: stability. Mix horseradish powder with water and it stays hot overnight. For restaurants shipping paste across continents, that shelf life isn't a flaw. It's the entire point. Fresh wasabi rhizomes cost between $100 and $300 per kilogram in Japan. Export prices run even higher. Compare that to horseradish at roughly $5 per kilo. A single serving of real wasabi would add several dollars to your bill. Most diners won't pay that premium for a condiment. So 99% of restaurants outside Japan serve the substitute. Even in Japan, experts estimate 95% of restaurants use fake wasabi. Only high-end establishments where chefs grate fresh rhizome tableside serve the real thing. Neither version is objectively better. Fake wasabi delivers the aggressive nasal hit many diners expect. Real wasabi offers complexity, but subtlety. Different products for different experiences. The substitute isn't just horseradish. Check the ingredients on any tube of wasabi paste. You'll find horseradish, mustard flour, cornstarch, and green food coloring. Sometimes spirulina or spinach powder for a more natural tint. The actual wasabi content ranges from 0 to 3%. Labels can legally say wasabi because there's no international standard defining minimum content. In Japan, the processed wasabi industry created voluntary guidelines. Products marked Hon Wasabi Shiu contain at least 50% real wasabi. Products marked Hon Wasabi Iri contain less, but these labels only apply in Japan. Everywhere else, that bright green paste can contain no wasabi at all and still bear the name. Real wasabi appears pale green, almost grayish. The texture looks gritty from fresh grating. It's served in small amounts that get replenished because the chef knows it's fading. Fake wasabi appears bright neon green. The texture is smooth and uniform like toothpaste. It arrives in a neat mound that sits unchanged through your entire meal. The taste tells you everything. Real wasabi starts sweet, turns sharp, then disappears. Fake wasabi hits hard immediately and lingers with an almost chemical persistence. If your eyes water for 30 seconds straight, you're eating horseradish. If the sensation vanishes before you finish chewing, that's the real thing. Next time you sit down for sushi, look at that green paste differently. There's a plant growing in Japanese mountain streams that takes 2 years to mature, costs more than most seafood, and loses its magic 15 minutes after grating. And there's a European root that mimics it well enough to fool 99% of the planet. Both serve their purpose. Both have their place. But now you know the difference. The question is whether you'll ever taste the real thing. Have you?